Welcome to the Promoting Educational Partnerships for Learning series. These segments have been created by the Regional Professional Development Schools program in the Seidel School of Education and Professional Studies at Salisbury University in Salisbury, Maryland. The following segment on co-teaching with college student interns will highlight the many benefits and long-term rewards that a collaborative internship experience can bring to everyone involved. This segment depicts real classroom examples that feature co-planning and co-teaching. When it comes down to it, we all know that as teachers and mentors, our goal is to help students become successful learners. Co-teaching in a collaborative internship is a value-added approach to successful teaching and learning.
So if at any given point there is a crest or a trough.
Well, I had thought that we would just do it on the overhead, but, you know.
Okay. So should I make it transparency?
No. With this group, I think we'd be all right just to tell them this is what I want you to listen for. And what we might do is say, okay, listen to the rubber bands on the large cup, compare them. Listen to the rubber bands on the small cup, compare those. And then compare the large cup to the small cup.
Okay. But I want them to have, all right, so maybe we'll put it up here just so I don't have to keep, they don't go, well, what do I do next? What do I do next? So that'll be up here. Do you think, I don't want to turn the lights out though, so could we?
Okay, well, I'll just go ahead with your sheets then. Since you've got those, we've used them, let's just go ahead with those.
And just give them out?
And just give them out.
Right, so
and I think one per group would be enough because we're going to have a working in partners.
Okay.
And so one per group will be enough.
And then, oh, I know, I'll just put, there's 4 on here, I'll put number 5 up there and say, you have 2 people, like, planning together, so whereas if I was by myself, I could say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I do it. I come to her and say, this is what I want to do, and she says, that sounds great, look what I have to go along with that. And then she'll go get materials that would help me, and then say, and I also do this, so you could do that too to add to it, and so it's just two heads are better than one, and then the lesson is that much better, that much greater, because 2 people worked on it. Today, we are going to do the laws of strings. Do any of you play stringed instruments? Guitar, violin, viola?
We have core learning goals and so on that having been here forever, I know what material has to be covered. So I've pretty much just told her this is what we have to cover. And this is how I've done it in the past. I've given her some of my materials and so on. And then she's taken it from there and done her own lesson plans, and created the lessons herself.
After I explain exactly what we're doing is find a partner. You guys can choose your own. There's 14 here today, so there should be 7 groups of 2. Once you're with your partners, I'm going to hand out one sheet to you. I need you to add one more question to
We plan together, but when she's teaching,
I know she's here, so if she listens. So if she had a good way of explaining something, then in my class next year, and when someone asks that question, I'm going to think back to, oh, I remember she said this and used this example. Now I can use that. Instead of just going by what I've done, you have more, more in your bag to grab from. You can think of, well, here's 2 ways to think about it, and I could say the way that maybe I had first thought about it, and then the way that she thinks about it, and so that student might relate to either one. And then I'll hand out a sheet. You only need 1 sheet per group. You guys can do it together. All right, there's 4 questions on the sheet. I just need you to add 1 more question. I see that it's helpful when the kids are working on something that there's 2 people walking around helping them. For example, the other day we did that velocity worksheet, and everybody had questions. So many people had questions that we both felt like we always had someone to get to, but just knowing someone else was there to also help you, you didn't feel like, oh my gosh, everybody needs help right now and I'm only one person. Talk about the sound in terms of the pitch. Is it low pitched? Is it high pitched? If it has a low pitch, what's the frequency? Low pitch has a low frequency.
I had a student yesterday in physical science who has not been too involved, and we were doing the same thing that we were doing with the strings today. And she said, this is fun. I like this. So, yeah, it has benefited the students. They've been more involved, too. I've learned a lot by working with her, too, in terms of I would say, this is how I taught such and such, and she said, well, let's try so-and-so. She's done a lot of research and technology and all. She's done things on the computer and so on that I probably would not have been able to do. And students are impressed with her. And we've done a lot more of the hands-on type stuff because she's gung-ho. She's gone out and come in with new ideas and so on. So she's helped me as much as I've helped her.
All right, tension. We both kind of take out our plan books and go through the week and say, I hope to get this done on this day, this done. And then she looks at what she's done in the past and said, okay, that's a pretty good pace for you to do. Or, okay, don't spend so much time on that. You really need to emphasize this more. And every day we come in and actually, usually during the second period, I'll say, okay, in physical science, because those are the next 3 classes, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. And then we talk about them. I think that I've been lucky that both my mentors have been so helpful that they knew when to leave me on my own and then they knew when to help me out. And so I have experiences to take with me.
You've just seen a brief glimpse of what it looks like to co-teach with a student intern or candidate in your classroom. When the mentor teacher and the student intern remain engaged in instruction, there's no limit to learning. And the process doesn't have to be intimidating or complex. Did you notice in the video that co-teaching can be as simple as grazing and sharing the stage during lesson delivery? As you become more comfortable with the concept of co-teaching, you may desire to tackle more ambitious lessons or try activities with many moving parts. The sky is the limit when it comes to co-teaching possibilities. Take any good teaching strategy you already employ in your classroom, add an additional human resource, and the end result is sure to be effective. The main point to remember when you host a Salisbury University student intern is that the real focus is on improved learning for all. We want to help you and your school make a difference in learning for your students, while at the same time help us to prepare the next generation of outstanding teachers. It's a win-win for everyone involved.